SpaceX IPO, 14 things you need to know. SpaceX is going public. It is being called the most anticipated IPO of the decade, and millions of retail investors are getting up to buy the stock on day one. But before you put a single dollar into this company, you need to look at past the rockets and look at the math. On May 20th, 2026, SpaceX dropped their official S-1 SEC filing. It is over 300 pages of dense financial, legal, and operation disclosures. I'm not here to give you the investment advice. My goal is to simply to show you the raw data buried in the footnotes so you can make your own decisions. I went through the entire document. Here are the 14 facts you need to know before buying into the SpaceX IPO. Fact 1. The basics and the ask. SpaceX is reportedly seeking a valuation between 1.75 and 2 trillion. But look at the consolidated statement of operations on page F5. In 2025, they generated 18.6 billion in revenue, but had 21.2 billion in cost, resulting in a net loss of nearly 5 billion. At a 1.75 trillion valuation, they're asking you to pay nearly 100 times sales for a company burning billions of dollars a year. Fact 2. The $20 billion debt cliff. On page F75, the filing revealed that in March 2026, SpaceX took out a $20 billion bridge loan to pay off the existing debt of XNXAI. That loan matures in September 2027. Crucially, the filing explicitly states that SpaceX is legally required to use the net proceeds of this IPO to repay that debt within 6 months. Fact 3. Spending more on AI than space. If you look at the capex in the first quarter of 2026, SpaceX spent 1.05 billion on their space segment. In the exact same quarter, they spent $7.72 billion on the AI data center. The company's cash burn is currently being driven by artificial intelligence, not rockets. Fact 4. The Cursor Ultimatum. That SpaceX signed an option to acquire an AI coding company called Cursor for $60 billion. But if SpaceX decides not to acquire them, they are contractually obligated to pay a $1.5 billion termination fee and an $8.5 billion deferred service fee. That is a $10 billion penalty just for walking away. Fact 5. Locked in dilution. The filing details a 19.6 billion deal to buy spectrum from EchoStar. To pay for this, SpaceX is issuing 261.8 million new shares of Class A stock at a fixed price of $42.40. This transaction closes in 2027, meaning the retail investors buying the IPO today will face significant share dilution next year. The Anthropic Mirage. The S-1 highlights that the AI company Anthropic is paying SpaceX 1.25 billion a month for compute capacity. However, either party can terminate this multi-billion dollar contract within just 90 days notice. Fact 7. Starlink revenue is declining. While Starlink doubled its subscribers to 10.3 million, page F shows that the average revenue per user has dropped 33% over the last 2 years. It fell from 99 a month in 2023 down to 66 a month in Q1 2026 as the company expands into the lower price international markets. Now, before we get to the massive related party transactions and the Texas lawsuit shield, you might be wondering how I am pulling these exact clauses out of a 300-page legal document. I did not read this manually, but I also did not upload an unreleased financial document to Cloud AI where my investment strategies get scraped. I dropped it into TensorPilot. TensorPilot runs entirely locally on my machine, zero data retention, total privacy. I asked it to cross-reference SpaceX debt with their board of directors, and here's the exact alpha it extracted for fact number 8. The Valor equity debt. Page F56 reveals that SpaceX executed 3 failed sales leaseback transactions with Valor Equity Partners, a firm run by SpaceX board member Antonio J. Gracias. Fact 9. Tesla equipment purchases. According to related party transactions, on page F56, in 2025 alone, SpaceX spent 506 million buying Megapack batteries and 113 million buying Cybertrucks directly from Tesla. Fact 10. Absolute control. The Class B shares have 10 votes per share. Because of this, Elon Musk will hold 85.1% of the voting power after the IPO. Fact 11, the lawsuit shield. The bylaws state that you must own a massive 3% of the entire company just to file a derivative lawsuit. Fact 12, nearly 1 billion in legal accruals. On page F54, SpaceX discloses that they have accrued 530 million plus another 399 million for probable litigation causes. This is directly related to lawsuits alleging that the Grok AI model generated copyright music and non-consensual explicit images. Fact 13, the rebrand impairment. Page F24 reveals that the decision to rebrand Twitter to X resulted in a massive 3.77 billion impairment charge, wiping out billions in intangible asset value from the balance sheet. Fact 14, the Bitcoin Treasury. Finally, page F26 confirms that SpaceX holds 18,712 Bitcoin on its balance sheet, valued at over 1.6 billion as of Q1 2026. 14 facts pulled straight from the SEC filing. Does the 28 trillion total addressable market justify the debt and the AI cash burn? That is for you to decide. My job is to just give you the data so you are not trading blind. If you want to analyze massive financial documents, SEC filings, and contracts instantly without giving your data to cloud AI companies, download TensorPilot. It is the ultimate local AI tool for serious investors. The link is in the description. Read the data, make your own decisions, and I will see you in the next video.